In the equity quadrant, taking a look at the June NASDAQ, which moved quietly higher. NASDAQ futures led the big three today, although the Russell overtook the NASDAQ toward the end of the day. The Russell was actually lagging this morning. When I first looked at it, it was behind all three of the indices. The NASDAQ was a leader through most of the day. Then we got past the FOMC minutes and the Russell kind of took off, but the NASDAQ still led the big three, meaning the S&P, the Dow, and the NASDAQ itself. No new highs, and still 1.6% from its all-time highs if you measure from yesterday's high. Today's high, not quite as high as yesterday's, fell a little short of that. But on the high side today, 13,641 in the June futures contract. That's 52 basis points, basically a 0.5% higher. And then on the low side, 13,512.50. That was down 42 basis points, a little bit less than 0.5%. We finished the day up a little bit more than 0.25%. We're now up 4 of the last 5 days in the NASDAQ futures. Now by sector breakdown, top 2 sectors were communication services and IT, only 4 sectors higher on the day. The other 2, financials and energy, which kind of helped the S&P a little bit, helped the Dow stay near the flat line. 72 basis points higher for communication services, 54 basis points higher for information technology. Obviously, both of those very tech heavy. For those of you that don't know, communication services is basically social media companies if I just kind of lump them all together. But those FOMC minutes kept the NASDAQ higher because it kept rates lower. The Federal Reserve released the minutes from its March meeting, during which it talked about keeping accommodation in place, reiterating that recent policy switch. Officials at the meeting said policy will only be changed once outcomes are achieved and won't be adjusted based on forecasts, and they focused on the unemployment rate. So they have a dual mandate between price stability and employment, and they're saying they're nowhere near their employment figures. At least that implies they think we're currently in a period of price stability, yields held in place, and that kept the NASDAQ bid. As you know, if yields rise, the NASDAQ tends to suffer because the high valuation of tech companies doesn't look as attractive when you can actually get yield in the risk-free rate in the treasuries. That didn't happen today. NASDAQ led, but low volume, quiet day.